early on people saw your talent, right?
Yeah.
But who would have thought that it would manifest into all these different hats and all of these different roles?
The first one that I kind of tapped into was the audio engineering side. And that came from a necessity to like need to record myself and want to get my ideas out quickly.
It probably also helped you like get better.
Oh, absolutely.
Just at being an artist, right?
So it does get challenging when it's like I have to miss out on parties or gatherings with my family or birthday celebrations, anything like that. It does get hard. So
Unofficial Therapy. It's your girl Waheeda. I'm back here today. I'm with Susie. It's good to see you. How you doing, girl?
Girl, I'm good. Thank you so much for having me on today. I really appreciate it.
Now, Susie, she's a girl of many talents. She wears a lot of different hats. So tell us about that.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So first and foremost, I'm an artist. I'm also an audio engineer, songwriter, video producer, a graphic designer, a couple of different things, act a little, dance.
So it's crazy because Susie, growing up, early on people saw your talent, right?
Yeah.
But who would have thought that it would manifest into all these different hats and all of these different roles?
Yeah. Honestly, not even I imagined that I would take it this much further. I always knew as a child that I wanted to be an artist, a singer. And I kind of just thought, I'm gonna make songs and sing. But I didn't realize that being an artist involves so many other creative aspects. And then I discovered how much I enjoyed doing them all. The first one that I kind of tapped into was the audio engineering side. And that came from a necessity to like need to record myself and want to get my ideas out quickly. So I realized soon into learning about audio engineering that I'm like, wait a second, I think I want to sit on this side of the board and like help people make their songs because it's really cool.
It's just like a beautiful creative process.
Yeah.
But it probably also helped you like get better.
Oh, absolutely.
Just at being an artist, right?
Yeah, yeah. It helps me realize a lot of things with like timing and realize that some ideas I had in my head I could communicate to my engineers because that was another issue that I was having at the time. Like I had have 1,000,000,001 ideas and then they were just all stuck in here because I didn't understand the language. So getting to learn how to tell what the difference between reverb and delay is super important when you're trying to, execute certain things in your brain.
So let's talk about your childhood. You were born and raised in
New Jersey.
Yep, I saw that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. What is it like growing up in New Jersey?
It's really great. Honestly, I love New Jersey.
Super wholesome.
It is.
Upbringing, right?
Yeah. I grew up, maybe 15 minutes outside of Manhattan.
Okay.
And I have a lot of family in the city. So I always grew up crossing over every weekend or every couple of days between the weeks. So I'd stay in the Heights or in Dykeman or in the Bronx with some family. So although I was in New Jersey, most of the time I definitely had a fair share of upbringing in the city too. So
that's a beautiful experience. Now, obviously your background is Dominican.
Yes.
For those that don't know.
Latino power.
Right? What was that like? What was that upbringing or childhood like?
Yeah, honestly, I love my culture. I love being Dominican. It's so cool. Not only is our island beautiful, but we have so many different things aside from food and like our togetherness. I can really appreciate, as well as the way that my parents brought me up too.
What are some values you think is important for like
absolutely
your
family.
culture or just like your people? Yeah.
Yeah. Family is like number one.
Mm-hmm.
My parents always stressed to me that at the end of the day, like no matter what happens, your family's going to be there. So we try to stick together. I know a lot of my cousins live in nearby neighborhoods. We some of us go off and like go to LA or to like London or something, but a lot of us are still like in Jersey. So that's one very strong value. Another strong value is just to make sure that you take care of yourself and take care of the people that love you too.
And would you say that, growing up, because I think early on folks did like recognize that you were a bit different than others.
Mm.
But would you say that you had any obstacles you had to overcome with all of that, recognizing those abilities? Were there any issues you dealt with?
I mean, growing up, knowing kind of already that I wanted to be an artist, you would think that I'd face a lot of maybe not comfortability with that decision to want to take that on as a career.
Mm-hmm.
But my family's extremely supportive of me.
I get that. I see that from you.
Yeah. So I feel like now more so as an adult, they're kind of like, okay, like, what's going on? What are you doing? Like, you're at the studio all the time. Like, they expect a certain
presence
mm-hmm. and a routine
that you're not able to
uphold. Exactly. So
mm-hmm.
it does get challenging when it's like I have to miss out on parties or gatherings with my family or birthday celebrations, anything like that. It does get hard. So I think that's one of the things that I'm facing currently. Aside from, I guess, earlier on when I first started taking it seriously, I didn't realize how expensive it was.
Okay.
So I'm coming from a middle-class family. Like, my mother's a social worker, my father had business, and now he has his own cab. So, like, we're not rich. So you have to make a lot of sacrifices to figure out how to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
So as much as it is a challenge, I also want to take that on and say that it is a strong suit of being able to make it happen with little to nothing.
Now, growing up with a mother that's a social worker, what is that like? Because, I mean, I can see that you're a product of like a very healthy family dynamic. Like you just exude that type of aura. But what were some things that your mom taught you early on?
Oh man, to be caring and to consider others, and not be self-centered and be willing to help. My mother is like one of the sweetest, kindest, most thoughtful people on this planet, and I'm super grateful for everything that she's taught me. Her values definitely like stay strong in me. So I try to just, make sure I treat everybody with kindness.
I can see that. As I'm thinking about like your career and, I saw that you've worked with some interesting, people on your list. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So the first one I want to talk about is like, I saw that you worked with like Fetty Wap. I saw that you worked with Tory Lanez.
Yeah.
Now, most recently, Jim Jones. These are all very like amazing people in their own right.
Yes.
But also some of them have like, very interesting elements to them. And so talk to me about your, just working with those folks.
Yeah. So, oh my goodness. My record with Fetty Wap, it's called Nobody's Better. If you've heard of it, shout out to you. But that was my actual first song ever, my first original record. We dropped that in 2015 in November. So this year we're actually approaching our 10-year anniversary. I'm very excited about that.
And then you've seen some growth after that, of course.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, right?
We currently have over 300 million streams with that record, and it grows every day.
300 million.
Yeah, it's insane. And it shocks me whenever I think about it, how successful the record has become, and for how long. It's 10 years and the song streams like 1 million a month still, or 500,000 a month still. So that's just incredible and an indescribable feeling, because you never really think that when you go for something, you take a risk to try something, that it's gonna just go off like that. And I'm fortunate enough to say that mine did. The experience was super pleasant. Roller coaster for sure, because like we said, there's a first for everything. So it's just trying to figure out like, how do I set up a music video? How do I set up, a photo shoot? How do I get models and cars and dancers?
Yeah, the organization of it all is very complex.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that whole process was hectic, but the experience in itself was so much fun. And Fetty was so kind. Like, he was just like, yeah, whatever you need, like, I'm here. whatever you need. And that it was smooth. So
I love that.
yeah.
Now talk to me about Tory Lanez, because obviously that was all over the news, all of just what happened with him and Megan Thee Stallion. But like, what was your experience like with working with Tory?
So as many people would expect an opposite answer from what I'm about to say, but he's so sweet, and he was really, really easy to just like get to work with. We definitely had a little back and forth with like reaching him at a certain point. So that I guess we could say was like a bit of a struggle.
Normal though.
A struggle,
yeah.
But once we were there and working, it was just a fun time. And he was like, "Yo, what do we need? What's going on?" So yeah, he was a good experience as well to work with. I didn't have any negative thoughts.
Good. Glad to hear it. Talk to me about what it's like working with
Jim. Oh my goodness. So this one is the most recent.
Yeah.
And it happened out of nowhere. The story behind this is like I work at Platinum Sounds Recording Studios and I engineer there. I was taking a nap, like ready about to go home for the night. And Spice walks in and was like, "Susie, wake up. I need you to meet some people that I know." I'm like, "Okay." So he brings in these two producers, Stats and Sage. And they listened to my music and they were like, "You're great. Yeah, we'll touch base with you sometime soon. Like, we'd love to work with you." I'm like, "Okay, awesome. Great meeting you guys." What is it, like 20 minutes later? Now it's like 2 o'clock, 2:30 in the morning. I'm literally in my car driving home and I get a message. "Pull up to the studio right now. We need vocals." I'm like, "Okay." So I head over there and there's Jim and his team and they were like so fun. They were just ready to get to work. I went in, laid my vocals, and then like 2 days later, they're like, "Yeah, we're putting the song out and you're going to be the feature." I'm like, "What?" What? That's so crazy. So that's how that happened.
It sounds like that's the like start of something iconic a little bit, right?
Yeah, just a bit. But it was, I don't know. I just am very grateful and happy that God has aligned the people in my life the way that he has.